Picture this. You're seeing a woman and at first everything feels electric. She laughs at your jokes, texts you instantly, and seems fully invested in you. But slowly, the energy shifts, and you notice she takes longer to respond. She's less enthusiastic, more distracted, and you get the sinking feeling you're sliding from her priority to her backup plan. You start compensating by doing more, planning elaborate dates, showering her with compliments, being instantly available. Yet the more you give, the less she seems to value it. The reason is simple. Abundance kills desire. When you act like she has you locked in no matter what, she subconsciously stops fearing loss. And when fear of loss disappears, attraction fades like smoke in the wind. But here's the twist. You can reverse this dynamic and flip the psychology in your favor. Most men think the way to get her back is through more effort, more gifts, and more reassurance. The truth is the opposite. Obsession is born not from certainty, but from uncertainty. People crave what feels scarce, not what's endlessly available. If she knows you're always there, no matter how she behaves, you've already lost leverage. To make her obsess, you must become the man she feels she could lose at any moment if she doesn't invest. This doesn't mean manipulation, it means raising your actual value. The key is embodying traits so rare and magnetic that she knows other women would fight for you. When she realizes you're the kind of man other women want, suddenly she's competing for a place in your life. This competition activates something primal inside her that no compliment ever could. That's when obsession begins. Psychology trick number 1 is rooted in scarcity. Humans don't panic about losing what feels replaceable. They panic about losing what feels rare. Think about luxury items, sold-out concerts, or even viral social media drops. The fear of missing out is more powerful than the comfort of abundance. In relationships, this means you cannot present yourself as unlimited supply. Your attention, your time, and your emotional energy must feel like scarce currency. When you give all of it freely without conditions, it's devalued instantly. But when you ration it with discernment, every piece of your presence becomes gold. She will feel the weight of losing you, because she knows she can't easily get that energy anywhere else. Scarcity, applied authentically, breeds obsession. The second trick is confidence in your independence. Women are magnetized to men who don't need them to survive. When you demonstrate that your life is fulfilling without her, whether through your work, your passions, or your friendships, she instantly realizes you are not dependent on her approval. This flips the script. She begins chasing your attention instead of you chasing hers. Independence is power because it communicates choice. You are with her because you want to be, not because you need to be. That distinction creates a subtle anxiety that fuels desire. She knows you could walk away and still be perfectly fine, which makes her want to prove her worth in your world. The man who is self-sufficient is the man who commands her obsession. The third trick lies in dominance, not in the sense of control or aggression, but in presence. Women crave men who radiate masculine authority and direction. When you take initiative, make plans, and move with certainty, you trigger ancient instincts that whisper, "This man is rare." You don't ask for constant permission. You lead, and she follows willingly. This leadership doesn't mean disregarding her input. It means owning your frame and having a clear vision. Authority makes you stand out in a sea of hesitant men who second-guess themselves. And authority paired with calmness is even more intoxicating. She knows that a man like this is in demand. And the thought of losing you to someone else creates a gripping fear. That fear evolves into obsession. Another critical trick is emotional control. Most men crumble under emotional tests, reacting with insecurity, anger, or desperation. But when you maintain composure, when you don't let her moods or tests shake your center, you signal strength. Emotional stability is one of the rarest qualities in men today, and women instinctively cling to it. If she can't control your emotions, she knows she can't manipulate you. That realization both unnerves her and pulls her closer. Emotional non-reactivity means you're immune to her drama, and instead of pushing you away, she obsesses over figuring out how to affect you. The harder she tries to move you and fails, the more she craves your validation. It's a psychological loop that locks her deeper into desire. Here's another overlooked trick: prioritizing male friendships and alliances. A man surrounded by strong, supportive male friends is harder to control. She knows your brothers will call out her bad behavior, check you when you're slipping, and remind you of your worth. This makes her anxious because she can't isolate you or become your only source of validation. When you demonstrate that your time with friends is non-negotiable, she realizes she must earn her place in your life. Brotherhood is a shield against manipulation, and it forces her to compete with more than just herself. The unspoken message is clear. You already have a tribe, so she has to bring value if she wants to belong. That fear of not being enough drives obsession. Competition is a primal force, and when other women desire you, her obsession skyrockets. She may never admit it, but women are wired to compete for men who are seen as high value by their peers. Simply being social, charismatic, and comfortable around attractive women creates an aura of scarcity. She sees the glances, the laughs, the subtle body language other women give you, and it sparks her competitive instinct. Suddenly, she feels like she could be replaced if she doesn't give her best. This isn't about cheating, it's about being socially abundant. Social proof is more persuasive than any words you could say about yourself. When she witnesses other women enjoying your presence, she realizes her position is not secure. That realization breeds obsession. Trick number 6 is indifference to outcome. Women can smell desperation like sharks smell blood in the water. If she senses you're terrified of losing her, she will take you for granted. But if she senses you're calm whether she stays or goes, her instincts scream, "Don't lose this man." This indifference doesn't mean being cold, it means being unattached to the result. You're confident in yourself, and you know you'll thrive regardless. That quiet certainty communicates abundance in its purest form. She realizes she's with a man who won't beg, who won't compromise his standards out of fear. That unshakable confidence makes her chase harder because obsession grows in the shadow of uncertainty. The less you need her, the more she needs you. Authenticity is another psychological weapon. Too many men wear masks, pretending to be what they think women want. But women are experts at detecting fakery, and the second they spot it, attraction dies. Authentic men, however, stand out like diamonds in the dirt. They show their true personality without apology, and that courage is intoxicating. Authenticity cannot be replicated, which makes you irreplaceable. She knows that no other man is exactly like you, and losing you would mean losing something one of a kind. When you express your true self with confidence, you communicate that you don't fear rejection. That boldness flips the power dynamic, and she obsesses over holding on to you. Authenticity is magnetic because it's rare. Boundaries create respect, and respect fuels obsession. When you enforce your standards and refuse to tolerate disrespect, you send an unmistakable message: I value myself. This terrifies her in the best way because she realizes she can't get away with sloppy behavior around you. Boundaries are not rules to control her. They're standards you live by. If she crosses them, she feels the consequences, whether that's your withdrawal of time, attention, or affection. Most men cave, but you must stand firm. The consistency of your boundaries makes her realize that losing you is a real possibility if she doesn't align with your values. Fear of consequences creates urgency. That urgency grows into obsession. Disappointment, when used strategically, is one of the strongest psychological triggers. If you normally treat her well but withdraw approval when she lets you down, it hits hard. Humans crave positive regard from people they respect, and when it's withheld, it stings deeply. Expressing disappointment isn't about punishing her, it's about communicating that you expect better. When she senses your standards, she feels compelled to rise to them. That need to re-earn your admiration creates constant investment. The more invested she becomes, the more obsessed she grows. Disappointment acts as a reminder that your respect is valuable and not guaranteed. Losing it is losing access to your world. Another obsession trigger is selective emotional availability. If you're always emotionally available on demand, she will take it for granted. But when your emotional presence is tied to her behavior, she learns your affection must be earned. Be warm when she treats you well and withdraw when she disrespects you. This isn't cruelty, it's calibration. Humans crave what they can't always have, and when your emotions aren't automatic, she works harder to win them. The uncertainty keeps her hooked, wondering how to stay in your good graces. Your selective availability forces her to put in effort, and that effort deepens her obsession. Scarcity of emotion is just as powerful as scarcity of time. Your mission in life is perhaps the most powerful magnet of all. When your purpose comes before your relationship, women feel both anxious and inspired. They realize they're competing with your mission for your attention, and that competition makes your presence more valuable. A man driven by a greater purpose automatically radiates scarcity because his time is precious. She sees that you're not building your life around her. You're building something bigger, and she gets to join if she's worthy. This creates a sense of privilege in being part of your journey. Fear of being excluded from that journey grows into obsession. Purpose makes you untouchable, and untouchable men are irresistible. Growth is another obsession driver. If you're constantly improving, mentally, financially, socially, physically, she fears being left behind. She knows that as your value increases, other women will notice and her competition will intensify. Growth creates urgency because she realizes the man she has today will be even more valuable tomorrow. Obsession comes from knowing you're an appreciating asset. The faster you rise, the stronger her fear of losing you becomes. Women obsess over men with upward trajectories because they know opportunities with such men are fleeting. Your dedication to progress is both intimidating and intoxicating. She doesn't want to lose her place in your climb. That fear keeps her glued to you. Men who demonstrate independence terrify women into obsession. When she sees you don't need her to feel complete, it unsettles her. Most men make women the center of their universe, but you must be different. Your identity is built on more than romance, and that makes you unpredictable. She doesn't feel like she owns your happiness, which drives her to fight for it. Independence makes your presence a privilege, not a guarantee. The more she realizes you are whole without her, the more she wants to be part of your world. That balance of detachment and inclusion is addictive. She obsesses over being chosen because she knows you don't need to choose her. Choice breeds obsession. Legacy building is another psychological hook. When a woman sees you building something bigger than yourself, a business, a brand, an empire, she knows losing you means losing access to greatness. Legacy outlives relationships, and women feel drawn to men who create beyond the moment. Being attached to a man with vision feels like holding on to history in the making. She obsesses because she knows most men don't have that long-term drive. The more significant your legacy, the more significant her fear of exclusion becomes. Scarcity isn't just about time, it's about opportunity. When your mission and legacy are larger than life, your presence becomes priceless. That realization makes her cling harder. Balance is crucial in all of this. Obsession isn't about terrorizing her, it's about creating healthy fear that motivates her investment. Too much coldness, and you drive her away. Too much availability, and she loses desire. The sweet spot is calibrated scarcity. You give enough to keep her secure, but withhold enough to keep her striving. This balance creates excitement instead of comfort. Excitement is addictive. She becomes hooked on the roller coaster of certainty and uncertainty. That ride is what keeps her obsessed with you. Authenticity is the glue that makes all these tricks work. If you fake confidence, she'll sniff it out. If you fake independence, she'll see through it. Women's intuition is too sharp for masks. That's why the true secret is becoming the man these traits describe, not just pretending. When you authentically embody scarcity, independence, authority, and growth, the fear of losing you becomes real. And when that fear is real, obsession follows naturally. It's not about manipulation, it's about evolution. Evolve into the man who is impossible to replace. That's the man she obsesses over.